So what if Peter Parker became the Lizard? Well, let me tell you, things would get pretty interesting to say the least. Let's check it out. So in this world, Peter Parker is still your friendly neighborhood nerd who's really good at science stuff. But unlike his other universe counterpart, Peter doesn't get bit by a radioactive spider. Instead, while doing some research with his pal Harry Osborn, they come across a new superpowered serum that changes people into reptilian monsters. They call these reptoids. That sounds horrible. This definitely won't end up changing Peter's personality, right? During an experiment gone wrong, Harry accidentally stabs Peter with a needle full of the reptoid formula. As a result, Peter transforms into the Lizard and gains super strength, speed, agility, heightened senses, the ability to climb walls, and of course, a sick new look. Now, despite his new powers, Peter feels awful because he is now a literal lizard person. He can't control his new form. His mind is being taken over by this new lizard persona. He's scary. He's also kind of gross. Just look at those claws. While Peter tries to find a cure for himself, he comes across a group of thugs trying to break into a building. And being the hero that he is, he swoops in to save the day. But wait, before we go any further, why is the Lizard a hero? Well, it all has to do with who created the reptoid formula. See, it was on some evil, mad scientist who wanted to take over the world, or even a corporation that wanted to make a buck off of creating super soldiers. No, it was actually Dr. Curt Connors, a well-meaning scientist who just wanted to help people. You see, Dr. Connors was a war hero who lost his arm during the Vietnam War, so he dedicated his life to science to try and create a way to replace body parts with mechanical ones. But during one of his experiments, he found out that he could use reptile DNA to regrow body parts. At first, he tested this theory on rats, which worked perfectly fine. But then he decided to test it on himself. What could possibly go wrong? A lot. Not only did his new arm not work like a normal human arm, but he also started turning into a lizard. So he locked himself away in his lab until he could find a cure. However, he didn't work alone. He had a loyal assistant named Alton Meister, a man who literally put a bullet in his brain to prove that he wasn't a cyborg. How crazy is that? Anyway, Alton helps Dr. Connors develop a machine called the transmogrifier to turn him back into a human. But it only worked partially, turning the bottom half of his body into a lizard tail. So he eventually gave up on finding a cure and accepted his new reptilian life, changing his name to the Lizard. Now, even though he's stuck as a lizard person, he wants to use his powers for good, becoming a superhero. And that brings us back to Peter Parker. After realizing he can't control his transformations, he goes to Dr. Connors for help. But when he finds him, he's attacked by a villain known as the Scorpion. This Scorpion is Mac Gargan, a brilliant scientist and CEO of a company called Oscorp. Mac is actually Harry's father's ex-employee and is trying to buy Oscorp. He'll reveal a secret about Norman unless he agrees to sell the company. And that secret is that Norman robbed people in order to start Oscorp from the ground up to where it is today. Norman is torn because he doesn't want to sell Oscorp, but at the same time, he doesn't want to be exposed as a criminal. So he asks Peter for help. Of course, Peter says yes, because that's just the kind of guy he is. But after transforming into the Lizard, he runs away before he can do anything. So now it's up to Mac to stop the Lizard from causing any more destruction. But little does he know that the Lizard is actually Peter Parker in disguise. As the two battle it out, Peter is able to hold his own against the Scorpion. In fact, he is actually winning until the Scorpion pulls out a device that emits a high-frequency sound wave that causes lizards to lose their minds. Talk about a scorpion's tail stinger. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, Peter loses control and runs away, causing Dr. Connors to realize that Peter needs more than just a cure. He needs help controlling his new powers. So he takes Peter under his wing and teaches him how to become the hero he's meant to be. Together, they make an awesome team, taking on bad guys and saving the day. But the Lizard isn't the only one with a cool new look. The Scorpion looks pretty awesome too. You can really see the influence of his namesake in his design. And let's not forget his tail, which he uses to attack the Lizard. But the Scorpion isn't just a mindless villain. He's actually a pretty smart one too. He's able to outsmart the police and even the Hulk at one point. He's also incredibly strong and agile, able to take on multiple opponents at once. Plus, he's got a sick costume and weapons. Did I mention his tail doubles as a whip? Whip, 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 whip. And don't even get me started on his pincers. They're just so cool. The scorpion is a formidable opponent for the lizard, but in the end, he's no match for the combined powers of the two. Lizards who taught each other things they would have never realized if they hadn't worked together. So what do you think? Would you rather be Spider-Man or the lizard? Comment below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more awesome content. Until next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll catch you later. Wait, I have an idea for a Spider-Man movie. What if Miles Morales was in it? Now, hear me out on this one. We could do like a Spider-Man and Miles Morales team-up thing. It could be awesome. I mean, they're both Spider-Men. Imagine the possibilities. They could fight crime together. They could banter back and forth. There could be like a mentor-mentee type relationship going on there. It could be so much fun. And plus, they both have unique powers. Like, imagine the action sequences. It would be off the charts. And the villains, they could be like a Spider-Man villain and then like a Miles villain. Oh, and they could have different suits. I bet the fans would go nuts for that. And I think it would appeal to both old-school fans and new fans. I mean, who doesn't love a good team-up story? It's a classic for a reason. Well, actually, we already did that. Uh-oh, so maybe we should do something else. What if we did a Spider-Man and Black Panther team-up? Now that would be interesting. Two very different characters, but they're both super smart and they both have cool gadgets. And the fight scenes, don't even get me started on the fight scenes. It would be epic.